Chess, a game of strategy and intellect, is rich in historical nuances and tactical intricacies. Two such maneuvers that have stood the test of time and continue to shape the dynamics of the game are en passant and castling. These distinct moves add depth and complexity to chess, enriching the experience for players and spectators alike. En passant, a French term meaning in passing, refers to a unique pawn capture that deviates from the usual diagonal attack. This maneuver allows a pawn to capture an opponent's pawn that has moved 2 squares forward from its starting position. The capturing pawn moves diagonally to the square that the opponent's pawn skipped, as if the pawn had only moved 1 square. The origins of en passant can be traced back to the 15th century when chess underwent a series of rule changes in Europe. The 2-square initial move for pawns was introduced during this period, and with it came the need to address situations where a pawn could evade capture by moving 2 squares forward. The en passant rule was devised as a solution to maintain the balance and fairness of the game. En passant is not a frequently occurring move, but its potential impact on the game is significant. It adds an extra layer of strategy, forcing players to consider the positioning of their pawns carefully. The move can be a tactical surprise, allowing a player to exploit the opponent's pawn structure and gain a positional advantage. In contrast to the subtlety of en passant, castling is a grand and regal maneuver that involves the king and one of the rooks. The primary purpose of castling is to improve the king's safety by moving it to a more secure location and simultaneously activating one of the rooks. The origin of castling can be traced back to the Indian game of chaturanga, an ancient precursor to chess. The concept of moving the king and a rook simultaneously is thought to have evolved as the game spread through Persia and eventually reached Europe. Early versions of chess had less restrictive rules regarding the movement of the king and rook, allowing for more flexibility in castling. As chess evolved in Europe during the 15th century, the rules of castling became more standardized. The restriction on moving through or into check during castling was introduced to prevent players from using the maneuver to escape imminent threats. The 2-square king move and the 3-square rook move during castling were also established to streamline the process and maintain balance. Castling is a vital strategic element in chess, as it not only safeguards the king but also facilitates the connection of rooks, enabling them to contribute to the battle. The decision of when to castle and on which side of the board depends on the specific position and the overall game plan of each player. The chessboard is a canvas for strategic brilliance, and en passant and castling are integral brushstrokes in the masterpiece of the game. These maneuvers, with their unique origins and practical applications, continue to captivate players and enthusiasts, showcasing the enduring brilliance of chess throughout centuries of evolution.